Are you ready? I'm going to introduce you guys and then we'll get going.
Okay, cool.
All right, ready? Okay.
Yep.
Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Very excited to bring you this video today. We are talking to Brandon Hayes and Marko Svraka about their exciting new Kickstarter anthology called Advance Directive. It's an anthology about life, death, and transformation. Just kicked off, so we definitely want to get the word out there and help them support it. I'm familiar with Brandon's work through another anthology he did called Thank You. It's a great book. And we that is what we're talking about today. So, hey guys, how are you? Hi, Brandon. Hi, Marks. Thank you for joining me
Hi,
today.
hi, Michael.
Thank
We're
you.
glad to
Thank you for having us
we're,
on.
we're glad to be here.
Oh, thank you. Well, Brandon, this is your, I imagine you spearheaded this project and kicked it off. So, do you want to tell us about the impetus of this anthology? What's it about? How it got started? Why you're doing it, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, originally Marco and I had done a couple of like covers th for a previous project I was working on. He had created one and then he colored another one, and then I think we had like another commission too, but then our first time actually like full scale collaborating on a story was Man's Last Days, which is in the book. It's in Advance Directive, and I also sent you a copy of that. We were doing that. He really loved my writing, and he can speak more to that. I don't really, yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but especially him being here. But he actually suggested um after I think it was that one or maybe in the middle of our of Hit 'em High, which was our other story that's also in this book. He suggested that we work on a full project because we enjoyed working with each other and he liked my writing and I liked his art a lot. I loved his art and we just wanted to keep it moving and we were originally gonna split like duties on the book. So in a way, like I was gonna write like half of them, and he was gonna illustrate those, and then he was also gonna contribute. So he was gonna cartoon some shit of his. So he was gonna write and draw and all that of his, and then I was additionally going to write some prose, maybe some poetry, maybe like a fake letter, or maybe like a short story that he would do little illustrations for. But as we got going, we just decided like, yo, let's just like streamline this shit and just get it done. And I busted out a bunch of scripts. We chose the ones that we liked, and then I just added a few right before we started the Kickstarter. And that's how it got started. Common thread throughout the whole book is just it's life, death, and transformation. Well, a lot of stories have life and death in them, so that was simple. But the transformation part is the common thread. Like there's some sort of transformation in each story. Um, it could be. I'm not gonna like. I don't want to. Well, transformation could be death itself, or it could be actual transformation, like into one person or one thing into something else. Could be multiple transformations within one story. It's just we really that's the only thing that combined everything. Plus the art's all black and white and dark and moody.
So it could be a physical transformation or a mental transformation or like a spiritual transformation.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, exactly.
So how did you guys meet and wind up collaborating together?
Marco, you want to answer that one?
We met on Facebook on Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside group. Brandon reached out to me, as he said, just right now, and then I read his scripts, and I thought this is cool, this is different, and uh, while I was reading it, I visualized his
Mm.
script, and then I said to myself, yeah, this is something that I could draw for sure, because I'm not into you know classical superhero stories, because I didn't grow up on that, because I'm from Croatia, that's in Europe, and I grew up on European comics, so I'm not involved in superheroes as much as American audience probably. But yeah, there's a lot of superhero stories that are cool to me. But Brandon writes different kind of stories, so yeah, it resonated with me. And the style that he writes in is the similar as style that I drew in, and that's kind of
Yeah,
dark
yeah.
and heavy style. Lots of blacks, shadows, noirish style, that kind of thing.
And I write just really quick, like I write kind of bare bones. Like I kind of just try to keep it as succinct. You would never know this from my posts on social media or how I talk in real life because I'll just fucking go on. But
Mm,
in my scripts, I keep it straight up like boom, 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 boom. Like, and I leave, if he has questions, I'll answer the questions. But a lot of times I'll just write the scripts that way. I'll send them to him and what he gives back to me, I'm like, oh shit, this is better than I imagined. You know, I don't, and I always accept like this is what a lot of artists will say that I've collaborated with. I very, very rarely have edits, and I very, very rarely say like this is not what I want.
yeah,
Like
the process was
I
very
accept, I
easy.
accept what the artist is giving me because it's their fucking art. Like
Yeah.
who am I to
Is
say?
that just does that come from being open or just not giving a shit? I'm just kidding.
um
Maybe both.
Maybe a little bit of both, but I in a good way. Like I don't give a shit in the sense of like who's to say that I have the best vision? You know what I mean?
Mm,
Who's to say I know it's my shit, but like I'm not going to control what they're doing because they need to let it flow freely in order for it to become what what the reason why I chose them in the first place,
yep.
you know?
Yeah,
I
the
think
art should.
that's like an important skill to have, I think, as a writer, because if you're not drawing it yourself, you're basically trying to communicate to the artist like a visual that you had in mind. But obviously, like you said, you're smart enough to know that they bring a certain skill set, they have their own
Yeah.
vision, and why stand in the way of that, right?
Even if I don't really like it that much at first, I'll fucking make myself like that shit. Like we're human, we're malleable, you know what I mean? Like I'm like this is their art. That's the main thing that's important. This is their art. And I'm the writer and I did my job. They're the and I'm the editor too, but we're all just doing our job and we're just doing what we can. If and the biggest part for me is the collaboration process, like getting along with each other.
Mhm. I'm sorry,
seeing
but
seeing the world kind of the similar ways. Like Marco and I are from two totally different countries, different hemis
backgrounds.
hemispheres of the world. Is that right? But like,
Yeah, and
um,
different backgrounds. And I'm sorry, I
different.
have a little dog here. She's just a puppy, so she's acting up right now. That's why I'm doing this. Calm down, calm
Yeah.
down.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, what other books have you guys worked on before this?
Oh well, we just did a couple of covers as for my series Thready, which is on indefinite hold. Um, it was about mental illness. It was like a little furry creature with a mask and he had mental illness and I was using a lot of my own experiences because I have bipolar 1 disorder. Um, and I was using my experiences to write these stories and I just felt pigeonholed. Like I just felt trapped. Like I didn't want to just be the mental illness dude. And also it was hurting my brain to like just be doing that all the time, you know? So
Yeah, you
it's on
needed to
hold for
change.
now, but he did a cover for it for one of the issues that didn't come out yet. And then he colored the cover for the issue that will come out next whenever I decide to go back to it.
So what other comics have you done outside of your collaborations with Brandon? Have you done much other comic book work or any things on your own or
Uh,
anything like that?
yeah, I always drew comics and everything, but I'm an first and foremost, I'm an illustrator. So I love comics. I grew up with comics, but I don't do them like professionally. Like that's not my day job, you know. My day job is doing illustrations, posters, whatever needs illustration in it. I do it, but during the COVID times, I drew about 25 or 30 pages of my own comic that it's on hold right now because of other things. And basically, that's it. Not a lot of comics for me.
So this is basically like a passion project for both of you guys then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
All of my comics that I ever drew are passion projects for me.
So
Yeah,
tell
it's his idea to do it. So
Yeah,
and you were like, well, why not? Like, yeah, I mean, if you can find a good artist who is willing to draw your stories and wants to make
yeah.
a comic book, I think from a writer's standpoint, that must be half the battle. I'm a cartoonist myself, and but I've written for other artists, I've colored other artists, and comic books is just a fun medium because it can be very personal, it can be very solo, but it can also be very
hmm
collaborative at the same time. And it seems like you guys enjoy the collaboration aspect a lot. And it seems like that
Sure.
is pretty much what is kind of fueling the whole project. And from what I
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah, Brendan gave me a lot of freedom to express myself and to draw his comics. You know, he wasn't like, "Oh no, this shouldn't be like this. You should try to do this this way or that way." He was like, "Yeah, cool, do your shit." So yeah, I like that.
You just
Every
damn.
artist like that, you know.
So tell the audience what you expect, why your comic is so great, and why they should pledge their hard-earned dollars towards it.
Wow,
Brendan.
so much to say there. But I mean, look at the art. I mean, I think most of our the watchers, the audience, and the groups that we're in on Facebook and all that, they're I think comics is a visual medium, so it's like the art is a major part of that. The writing is too, the stories, and I know that the writing is very powerful and it's very meaningful to me. Um, sometimes I'm not sure if people like really mess with it or not, like, but I think they will when they really, sit down and read it. The hardest part is like, how do we get this out there for people to see and like appreciate without like spoiling the book.
hmm
I
Um,
know. Yeah, I'm struggling with that as we speak because I've read what you sent me, and I did read the one story that is featured that was also featured in the Thank You
yeah.
anthology. And it is very good art, but the story is also very compelling as well. Like I think it's a
Mm.
good collaboration. I think that it's a great you guys obviously have a lot of symbiotic creative energy together, and I think it's really
Mm.
good. Um, but like, so what makes it different from other comics? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm looking for a hook or something like, what makes it stand out? Like, what is going to make people want to read it aside from Marco's beautiful art? Because as
What?
an artist myself, I am often drawn to comic books for the art initially, but
Yeah.
hopefully the story
So, so
grabs you
for
too.
me, for me, like I grew up kind of reading comics here and there. I appreciated, back when I was younger, I appreciated Batman stories, Spider-Man, X-Men. I was really into the Ultimate stuff, but like I know that's kind of I was young, and I just that's just what I liked at the time because, I had a professor that really was guiding me through, or it wasn't a professor, he's a teacher, like they're not called professors when you're in high school, but he really guided me on a lot of shit, always looked out for me, and we'd always talk comics after class and everything. So he was really into the Ultimate series and he put me onto those. But as I grow older, I kind of like, I kind of just kind of stopped reading a lot of just different comics or being interested because they weren't meeting my needs anymore. Like until I found like American Splendor and like Love and Rockets and all of that stuff. But I mean, these are totally not American Splendor type autobiographical stories at all. But if I were to list some stuff that's kind of similar, I would consider American Splendor to be similar in that um, I have a few different characters that are kind of like Harvey Picar, and kind of like the sentiments are kind of the same. You know, he's just kind of down on his luck and just kind of like pissed off at the way that the country's going and just different things, how society's changing as he's growing older and shit like that. That's how I feel. And I take that feeling and then put it into my story. So it's not like it's like American Splendor, me, and then the book. Like it's like I'm like a filter. I'm like a conduit or like a I don't know. But like so these days I like to write kind of like stories about anti-racism and like transformation and death and like in terms of like not death as in like depressing or as a loss, but just as a next step or whatever. And I don't find, I mean, maybe I'm just not that well read within the comics medium, but these days, but I when I look to fill that void in me, when I look on my shelf and I look elsewhere for content or for art, I don't go to comics anymore really, unless I know the creator or they're writing stuff that I really, really like identify with. Like you know, there's all different kinds of stuff. I will say my friend Chad Bilyeu, he's like an older brother to me. I really like his stuff. He's telling his story, and you don't see his story a lot in comics. Um, so if anything, I'm kind of like supplementary. I'm trying to supplement those, trying to tell these stories that are just like just raw, real. Might piss some people off. Some people might not get them or they roll their eyes at them, but it's something that's from my heart, from my soul, and it's like I really believe that they're not only like important stories, but like they have meaning that you can go back to like months later or whatever and be like, oh, that's what he was talking about, or oh, something will happen in the world or in the country that'd be like, oh, okay, I get that now. Maybe it's not popular right now, but maybe it will be eventually, whether it be about
Or
mental health or anti-racism, pro people, you know, stuff like that. I get a lot of inspiration from music, from the music that I listen to, and books like Bell Hooks or Asada Shakur or um, who else? Leonard Peltier. You know, kind of just social warrior type shit. You know.
for
So,
me,
Marco, yeah, maybe what are some of like your artistic influences and what do you bring to your art? And what do you ex like people to get from your art?
well, I just hope they like it. And for me, Brandon's stories are different enough to be interesting, you know, to the people who search for something that has a different type of storytelling and different stories in a good way, you know. So it's not the basic stories that you can see all over the place, and that's why I think it's uh, our book is something that the people should read, you know. And as for my art, I don't know. I like plenty of European artists. Like, of course, the most popular one is Mobius and Herman Coupin. You could heard of him, and Liberatore and whatever. So I don't want to bother you guys with different names. But yeah,
You never know. We're still trying to find our audience, right? We're still trying to find
yeah,
like the people
mostly
that are
most
checking for us.
mostly European guys, but also I like American artists like James Heron, like Fred Moore, like I don't know. There's so many of them, but uh, those two names are first that came to mind. Something that is a little bit different with a style, with a punch, you know.
Punch to the face.
Yeah,
Kick to
punch to the face, punch to the eyes.
So, do you guys have any plans to work together beyond this project? Or I mean,
I'm
obviously you're
down.
still working on it, so it might be too soon to even think about that.
Yeah, it might be too soon, but we would like to complete this book if it's possible, if Kickstarter
Mm.
succeeds. And if not, we're gonna do something else in a smaller version. And I'll probably finish my comic that I started during COVID, and after that, we'll see. I'm open for anything and everything, so yeah, we'll see.
It's a great process. It's just we both have our own, things that we're trying to get done and trying to deal with. So it's like it's good to take a break, It's good to
Sure.
it's healthy, you know what I mean? It's not like I want to, but it's like sometimes you gotta go out into the world, experience the world, come back, and then get it done.
Yeah, for me, I just want to get one book done,
Yeah,
one
and same with
comic
me.
from,
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to get it done. And after that, I'll see, maybe I'll start doing comics more serious, maybe not. I don't know. I'll see.
Okay, well, it sounds like they're getting ready to start doing construction in my apartment, so I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute. But do you guys want to tell us anything else about the project before we wrap it up here today?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I got a whole lot to say, but I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it, but like,
But that's what we're here for, to talk
yeah,
about your project. So feel free to say anything you want to say to get people excited about your Kickstarter.
my problem is when I'm on the spot, I talk myself into a wall. So I'm just kind of like trying to figure out what exactly I want to say. And I got to remember we're trying to raise some funds. So I don't want to
You don't want to say something that,
I don't want to say something stupid, but I'm just kidding. Nah,
I
I
just
mean,
want,
we talked about doing this interview and we talked about going into it and just being relaxed and just letting it flow and you know, just
yeah,
being real kind of fluid with
we didn't really prepare for it, to be
well,
honest.
I did.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, the book
I
looks
prepared.
great.
You
The
prepared,
art looks
I
great.
didn't.
I really like with this one and then going forward, I would really love to just do like one shot comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the gold for me because like you do an issue number one, and then you got to do a number two, and then it's like, oh, you're just gonna do two is one number one and number two, that's it. And I just get all the ideas in the one package and just get it out. Do it. If you want to do another one that's similar, do another one, give it a different title. And I'm speaking this to myself, like and I just want to keep on doing that sort of thing. So it's like I don't want to keep on doing the same types of content, but at the same time, like this is what we're doing now. This is what we believe in. This is the passion project. And if we can't get this done, we won't be able to get any other ones done. So it's like this, like for anybody out there looking to pledge to a Kickstarter that is unique, original, says stuff that's a little bit different, might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable or challenge you to think different ways. That's us, and this is the project that we're pushing. And there will be many more if we can continue to be successful with these, I don't want to call them small projects, but it's, compared to, we're not doing, like graphic novels or like, trade paperbacks. I mean, maybe eventually, but right now it's just it all relies on this, and we would just be so, forever grateful, and we're blessed to even be doing this.
Sure.
And
Well, I think that's the beauty of Kickstarter. I think that, you can do small projects. It doesn't have to be a huge project. It can fund, help fund small projects, big projects, and just make projects that wouldn't happen otherwise to come to life. So, I commend anybody who is, willing to go out there and make the effort to try to get, their vision out to people. And like I've said, I've read some of your stuff in the past, and the previews look amazing. So I'm
thank you.
happy to help support this and spread the word. It's not a huge Kickstarter, but you guys do need help, and I would definitely love to
Mhm.
see it get funded and see this book see the light of day. I know I'm looking forward to my copy. So, what about you,
Um,
Marco?
Yeah, I wish we make it with this because we have a lot of things to show to people with this book. At least I think so. And if we don't make it, I don't know how we're going to show it to them.
I
Maybe
will feel empty.
sometimes, yeah, maybe sometimes in the future we should publish on our own, record something in a smaller, printing and that type of stuff. But we need this Kickstarter to do this whole book for sure. We don't
Yeah,
have
I think
enough
it.
money to do it.
Yeah, I think it's a great start to your collaboration. I think it's going to be a great book. I'm very much looking forward to the end
Thanks,
product.
thanks.
I think that once people see some of the previews and like realize what it's about, and hear some of your vision, I like the themes that you're presenting. I think it's perfect for an anthology. I think it's a great setup, and I think like-minded people, definitely the
Mhm.
cartoonist kayfabe crowd, people who love indie comics, people who love European comics will pick up on your sensibilities and enjoy this book. So I definitely encourage everyone to get out there and support this Kickstarter. We still have plenty of time. It just got kicked off, but
Mhm.
don't sit on it either.
Yeah.
I bring a lot of indie creators and books to the forefront through my challenge, or I like to spotlight them, and I'm happy to feature you guys today. And I wish you
Thank you.
major
Thank
success
you.
with the project. I think it should have no problem being funded. And so maybe if you just want to tell us anything you want us to know, like where to
Yeah.
reach you, or if we should be following you, or anything like that before we wrap up here today.
And I just want to say really quick, like all these themes and all these topics and everything, we're not like talking down. We're not trying to preach about all this stuff. It's mostly like self-exploration. You know what I mean? Like I had to really look at myself in the mirror to write pretty much every story. And, it might not seem like that at first, but you'll find bits and pieces of me, obviously, because I wrote it throughout the stories. And it's just very self-reflective, very personal, very yeah. So social media. My Facebook is mostly personal with some comic stuff. But my Instagram is Brandon, but it's all jumbled. So it's like BNORADN. The first and the last letter are the same for Brandon, and then everything else is jumbled in the middle. So you'll find it.
Okay, I'll actually put links in the description of the video to make it easier for people because they're never going to remember stuff like that, right?
For me,
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
for me, it's just Marko Svraka at whatever Instagram or Facebook. And I want to thank you, Michael, for doing this for us.
Mhm.
We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure. I've done my own crowdfunding, and I know how exciting it can be. And I like to
Yeah.
support everybody's Kickstarters. I honestly feel like some of the best comic books being made today are being funded by Kickstarter. I know that I'm seldom disappointed when I support a book, and you just really have to give credit to the people doing it and know that it is a ton of hard work and that
Hmm.
it's not just, lazy cartoonists begging for money. It's like, unfortunately, we live in a society that doesn't reward and celebrate artists the way that they should. So
Mhm.
definitely send your hard-earned dollars towards this amazing new Kickstarter campaign. Advance Directive is the name of
Mhm.
the anthology by Brandon Hayes and illustrated by Marko Svraka. It looks
Hmm.
amazing. It'll be going
Thank you.
throughout March, I guess. It ends when?
Yeah. Like March 26th or 27th,
Yeah.
Okay.
something
But
like that. Definitely get
y'all
them in between,
still,
you know.
yeah, everybody has time for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Let's
But
hope
get
for the
those
best.
pledges in, but get those pledges in today so we can keep the momentum rolling, you know? That's
Yeah,
important.
absolutely.
The
Kickstarter,
more,
you need to start big and
Mm,
finish big.
yeah.
yeah.